Alright, so the rest of the problems on the quiz review have the directions solve for 0 is less than or equal to theta, which is less than 2 pi, which just means list out the angles that fit within one positive revolution of the unit circle. So no plus pi k or no plus 2 pi k. So if we start with number 6, if you take a look at it, in order to factor it, it has to be set equal to 0. So I'm going to start by subtracting sine theta from both sides. Be careful on this one. You might be tempted to divide away the sine on both sides. And if you do that, you will lose solutions to this problem. So you cannot divide it away, but you can subtract it. And once you subtract it, be careful, you're not going to combine these two terms because they are not like terms. But what we can do instead is, since they both have a sign in common, you can factor out the sign. So it's essentially just a GCF problem. So if I factor out a sign, I'm left with secant theta minus, and if you take out a sign, there's nothing left in that second term, so minus 1. Once you get it factored, set each factor equal to 0. And solve from there. Now, if you divided away the sign in the first step, these are the solutions that you would have lost. Now, if you think about sine is your y-coordinate, and your y-coordinate is going to be 0, both when theta is 0 and when theta is pi. So those are your first two solutions for this. For the second equation, if you add 1 to both sides, you end up with secant of theta is equal to 1. Now, secant's reciprocal is cosine, and the reciprocal of 1, well, if you take 1 and you flip it turn it into a fraction, it'd be 1 over 1. If you take its reciprocal, it's still just 1 over 1. So we're trying to figure out where our cosine value is 1, cosine is x, and x is going to be positive 1 when theta is 0. So we actually had 0 overlap in both of our solutions, so the only two angles that work for number 6 are going to be 0 and pi.